Welcome to the second episode of Python for Economics Students. In today's episode, we will start work on our YouTube subscriber counter program step by step. In order to know a channel's subscriber count, let's go to YouTube and look at Apple's channel page. You can see it says 11.8 million subscriber here. I'm sorry if you can't read Chinese here. I don't know how to turn this into English, but yeah, that says 11.8 million subscriber. In order to know a channel's subscriber count, we need to know something called URL. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with this. This is basically just a link to a particular website on the internet, and that's the first thing we need to know when we try to get information on a certain web page. Let's copy that and put it on our Python workspace. I don't have one here. Let me start one. Same as the last episode, create a applet. Brand new applet. So what we need to do is to tell Python to remember this URL right here into its memory. What we need to do is to use something called assign operator. So an assign operator may sound complicated. So assign operator may sound complicated, but it's actually fairly simple. We are telling the computer what is what. In our case, we want to put this piece of information into some kind of variable or placeholder so we can refer to it later on. Let's just say I want to call it Apple _ URL, and the magic is to put an equal sign here, and this is not the same as what you will use in mathematics. This is not an equal sign. This is what we call an assign operator. We are assigning the value on the right hand side as a string to the left hand side, which is called Apple _ URL. If we print this Apple URL, it will actually print out what we assign it to be, and say http as : blah blah blah. And it doesn't really matter what we are naming it to. We can name it, let's say, just URL, and change that to, it will give us the same result. As you can see, we can call it okay. So if we name it into A, it will still give us this same information here. So this is basically a placeholder or variable to hold something useful for later use. Wait, there we go. Let me change it back to my Apple _ URL. You can name it wherever you want. You don't have to name it exactly like what I did. Now what we need to do is to collect data from this URL, and what we need to do is think about how we will collect this 11.8 million subscriber count information manually. If we were to do that manually, we will first go to this website, look at this number here, and then write it down somewhere, right, on our notepad or computer somewhere. That will be the same when we do the Python program as well, but the difference is we will need to do that through Python or through computer program. To do that, we will need to go to the internet, connect to the internet, and then go to some specific URL. That sounds complicated for sure, because in episode 1 we just learned how to cut and slice and print out strings and list. That's it. That's all we know. We don't know any advanced stuff. But actually, someone already do the job for us. They already figure out how to go to internet, how to connect to YouTube's server and all that. They already done that for us, so we don't have to do it all over again. What we need is just some magical keyword to import someone else's computer program. In Python, there's a magical keyword called import. It basically allows us to copy someone else's code and then tell our computer to use that particular Python code in our script here, so we don't have to do that all by ourselves. In our case, by the way, when you are importing someone else's code, they are usually called libraries. For example, the library we are gonna be using today is called request. Yes, that's the one. IQUEST. I think that's the correct one. So we need to import some library called request, and then we have the ability to connect to the internet and then download stuff and read the content from web pages. After importing the library, we also need to actually ask Python to use that ability by typing request dot get, and give me 1 second. Request dot get. I think you need to put we should put the request under all that stuff above, because how Python works is it works from top to down, from line 1 to line n. So we already assigned the URL to apple_URL, and then what we are going to do is to get this apple_URL and then see what we get from that particular URL. But this portion of code right here simply instruct our computer to request and then get information from the URL we specified, but we didn't tell the computer to do a conversion we need to do, that is .text. In this way, when the computer gets back whatever information it gets from the website, it will also converting those information as text. So basically means English. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to read that at all. It would be in some sort of binary, I believe. So, but we wouldn't be able to see that on the right hand side console neither, because we didn't ask our computer to print that out. So what we need to do, if we want to see that result, we also need to print that result out. So let me try this. I hope it will work. You see a lot of data is being downloaded from the internet, and now it's done. Well, you may say this is not the same as what we see here, but that's because of how web pages works. Usually that actually is the web page of Apple's YouTube channel, but we didn't put this raw information into some sort of browser so it will show up nicely and good looking. rather it gives us the raw information we need. But in our use case, in our particular context here, we actually don't care about how it looks or how the logo and pictures are laid out. All we care about is the subscriber count. So if we actually click, if you can see here, you click the find button on the console on Replit, you can actually look for you can search for keywords. So if we search for subscriber and click next, we can actually find something pretty useful. Wait, give me 1 second. Where is it? Can you see it? Where is the subscriber thing? Okay, there we go. Let me copy this line of code out. Oh. No, I just did a keyboard interrupt. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. So if you can see here, it says copy, paste. How do I paste? Right, you can see in this long random text, there is one single information we need. That is 11.8 million subscribers. Same as the actual YouTube website. So that's the information we want. Now we know how to put some string or some information into a variable. This is what we call a variable or some placeholder, and then refer to it later on in our code. And we also know how to import someone else's computer program and then use that computer program to do whatever we need to do. And we successfully get Apple's subscriber count by just 4 lines of code. I think that's it for today's tutorial. And in the next episode, I want to teach you how to save the result here, or rather the right hand side if you want to save all of that. How do we do that? And how do we save all that information onto our local computer hard drive? That's it for today.